Hello, welcome to the Learn English Lab.
Hi there.
Today, we're diving deep into some really interesting C1 level vocabulary. We're focusing specifically on words that start with the letter R.
That's right. These are words you'll encounter in more complex situations, maybe academic texts, professional emails, or even just, sophisticated conversations.
Exactly. Think of this as sharpening your tools for those contexts. We've got a collection of terms, and they often have quite specific meanings. Our mission today is to really unpack these words. We want to give you clarity, provide some good examples, and hopefully boost your confidence in actually using them.
Absolutely. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it. Okay, first up, a word many people probably recognize, radar.
Radar. So fundamentally, it's a system, right? It uses radio waves to detect things, figure out where they are. And what's amazing is just how widely it's used. It's absolutely crucial for navigation thing, air traffic control, watching planes.
Right, keeping the skies safe.
Exactly. But it's also key in military operations, for spotting and tracking. Sure.
And even in meteorology, it plays a huge role in predicting severe weather by seeing how storms are moving, how intense they are.
So like tracking hurricanes.
Precisely. Air traffic controllers, they rely on radar constantly for all the incoming flights. And because of radar tech, weather forecasters can often give us warnings well in advance.
That's incredibly useful.
It is. Ships use it too, to spot other vessels or maybe obstacles in the water. Even police use speed radar guns.
Oh yeah, the speed traps.
Those ones. And interestingly, the basic idea is now being used in self-driving cars, helping them see around them. It's really enduring technology.
Wow, that's quite a range. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about radical. This one feels like it has a couple of sides to it.
It really does. So radical can be an adjective describing something that relates to really fundamental change, like going to the root of something.
Okay, fundamental.
But it can also be a noun. A radical is someone who pushes for those big, sometimes extreme changes.
Right, someone advocating for a total shift. Exactly. The key thing is it suggests complete reform, not just minor tweaks. And, the word itself isn't inherently good or bad.
How so?
Well, a radical new approach might be seen as really innovative, maybe a breakthrough. But radical political views could be seen as extreme, maybe divisive.
I see. Depends on the context.
Totally. Like the new leader proposed radical changes to the education system that suggest a complete overhaul. Or radical activists organize protests demanding climate action that highlights people pushing for major societal shifts. It often sparks debate, this idea of radical change versus stability.
That makes sense. It's about the scale of change. Okay, next let's get into a strong emotion. Rage.
Rage. Yeah, as a noun, it's just extreme anger, that really intense fury.
Like being absolutely furious.
Exactly. And as a verb, it means to show that violent anger. What's important is how powerful this emotion is. It can lead to aggression, outbursts.
Like in the example, smashing a phone.
Right, that kind of external outburst. But it can also be internalized. You feel that intense anger deep down, but maybe don't show it outwardly. Unfortunately, we see its destructive side in things like road rage, which is a known cause of accidents.
Yeah, that's scary.
It is. Even if someone controls it, like rage filled his chest, but he forced himself to stay calm, the feeling itself is still incredibly potent.
A very intense word. Okay, following that, we have raid.
Raid. As a noun, it's a sudden attack or like an incursion. As a verb, it means to make that kind of unexpected attack.
Okay, sudden and unexpected.
Yeah, you often hear it in military or police contexts. An army launching a night raid or police carrying out a raid on a suspect's house.
Right.
But it's not only that, it can also describe surprise thefts, like criminals planning a raid on a shop.
Like a smash and grab.
Sort of, yeah. And sadly, you see it in devastating contexts too, like the village was devastated after the raid by enemy forces. It highlights that destructive, sudden aspect.
Definitely carries serious weight. Okay, let's shift gears slightly to something that can be more positive.
Rally.
Rally, good one. It also has two main roles. As a noun, it's usually a big gathering of people, often showing support for a cause.
Like a political rally.
Exactly. Thousands attending a political rally downtown. But as a verb, rally means to come together for support, or maybe to recover after a tough time.
Recover, how so?
Well, a sports team might rally after a bad start and end up winning. Or supporters might rally around a candidate during an election.
Got it. Coming together.
Right. It can even mean recovering from illness, like he was seriously ill but managed to rally after surgery. So it covers both group gatherings and individual bounce backs.
That's useful. Okay, next on our list is ranking.
Ranking. This is pretty straightforward usually. As a noun, it's just a position on some kind of scale, usually compared to others.
Like league tables.
Exactly. You see it everywhere. Comparing universities, Harvard maintains its high ranking. Or in sports, FIFA updates the world ranking of football teams.
And of course, rankings can change. An athlete's ranking might drop after some bad performances.
Or go up.
Or go up, yeah. Companies love it when their ranking improves, showing they're doing well in their industry.
Definitely a common concept.
Yeah.
Now we need to address a very serious and important term, rape.
Yes. This is obviously a very significant word. As a noun, rape is the crime of forcing someone into sexual intercourse without their consent. As a verb, it's the act of committing that crime.
It's crucial to handle this topic sensitively.
Absolutely. We have to stress this is an extremely serious crime with devastating emotional and legal consequences for survivors. It's universally condemned. The examples highlight this. Laws against rape are strictly enforced, and charities working to help survivors. Awareness campaigns are also vital for prevention and support.
An essential term to understand because of its gravity. Okay, let's move to something more mathematical. Ratio.
Ratio. So a ratio is basically a relationship between two numbers. It shows how many times the first number contains the second. It's all about comparison.
Okay, like 2 to 1.
Exactly. You use it a lot in maths, obviously. The ratio of students to teachers might be 20.1. But it's also key in business, looking at a company's debt-to-equity ratio, for instance. And even everyday life, like baking, adjusting the ratio of water to flour to get the right dough consistency.
So it's a way to express proportions.
Precisely. Very practical for clear comparisons.
Okay. Our next word is rational.
Rational. This is an adjective, and it means based on reason or logic, not on emotion.
Logical thinking.
Right. A rational person thinks things through carefully, makes decisions based on logical analysis. It's often linked with, being fair or wise because you're trying to avoid emotional bias.
Makes sense.
So someone might make a rational choice to save money rather than spend it on impulse. And rational thinking is essential for complex problem solving. Even when things get heated, staying calm and rational helps find better solutions.
A very valuable trait. Okay, now we have ray.
Ray. Primarily, as a noun, it's a narrow beam of light or some other kind of radiant energy, like a single ray of sunlight coming through the clouds.
Okay, a beam of light.
Yes. But interestingly, it can also be used metaphorically, meaning a small sign of hope. Like she felt a ray of hope when she got a second interview.
Ah, like a glimmer of hope.
Exactly. And beyond visible light, we use it medically too, like an X-ray, which is a type of ray used to see inside the body. So physical beams and symbolic hope.
Got it. Quite versatile. Let's look at readily.
Readily. This is an adverb, and it basically means quickly and willingly, without difficulty or hesitation.
So easily and without fuss.
Pretty much. If something's readily available, you can get it easily. Someone might readily agree to help. They're willing and quick to say yes.
Okay.
In our digital world, information is often readily available online.
Very true.
And if someone readily admits a mistake, they do it openly, without making excuses. It emphasizes ease and willingness.
That ease of access is definitely key now. Okay, next up. Realization.
Realization. As a noun, this is about becoming aware of something. It can be that sudden aha moment, like the realization that he was lost filled him with panic.
That sudden understanding.
Right. But it can also mean the fulfillment of a goal. When something you hoped for actually happens, achieving financial independence could be a lifelong realization for someone.
So achieving a dream.
Exactly. It covers both that internal moment of awareness and the external achievement of something. A sudden realization might even lead to big life changes, like a career shift.
Internal awareness, external achievement. Got it. Let's move on to realm.
Realm. Okay, literally, a realm is a kingdom, the area a king or queen rules over. The king ruled over a vast realm.
Like in fantasy stories.
Often, yes, but more commonly we use it metaphorically. It means a field or domain of activity or interest.
Oh, so.
We might talk about advances in the realm of medicine, meaning within the field of medicine, or someone is well known in the realm of environmental activism, meaning in that specific area of work. So it's a sphere of influence or activity, literal or metaphorical.
That's a bit of formality, perhaps. Okay, next is rear.
Rear. This one's busy. It can be a noun, an adjective, or a verb.
Okay, break it down.
As a noun, it's the back part. The garden is at the rear of the house.
Simple enough.
As an adjective, it means located at the back. The soldier guarded the rear of the convoy.
Got it.
And then as a verb, rear means to raise or bring up, usually children or animals. They rear cattle on their farm. Or it's challenging to rear children in a big city.
Ah, like raising kids or livestock.
Exactly. So position and nurturing.
Quite a few uses there. Let's think about reasoning.
Reasoning. This noun refers to the process of thinking logically and sensibly. It's how we form conclusions based on facts and evidence.
Our logical thought process.
Precisely. Sound reasoning is the foundation of a good argument. If your reasoning is flawed, as the example says, you can reach the wrong conclusion.
Right, the logic doesn't hold up.
Exactly. Developing critical thinking skills really helps improve your reasoning abilities, which you need for problem solving and making good decisions.
Absolutely essential. Okay, next. Reassure.
Reassure. This verb means saying or doing something to remove someone's doubts or fears. It's about providing comfort and reducing anxiety.
Making someone feel better or more confident.
Yes, it's really important for building trust. A doctor might reassure a patient before surgery. Parents often reassure their kids during things like thunderstorms. Even after a setback, like failing an exam, reassurance can help someone feel motivated again.
A very human interaction. Okay, let's move to rebel.
Rebel. This can be a noun or a verb. As a noun, a rebel is someone who resists authority or rules.
Someone who goes against the grain.
Right. And as a verb, to rebel means to resist that control or tradition. This resistance can be political rebels fighting against an oppressive government.
Sure.
Or it can be personal, like a teenager rebelling against their parents' rules.
A common faith.
Indeed. Even artists can rebel against traditional styles to create something new. It's about opposing the established system.
Often linked to wanting change. And related to that, we have rebellion.
Exactly. Rebellion is the noun form, but it usually implies something more significant, an act of violent or open resistance to authority. It's often on a larger scale than just one person rebelling.
So more organized resistance.
Often, yes.
Yeah.
Rebellions frequently happen when large groups want political change or are deeply unhappy with things. History is full of examples. They can be fueled by different things, like economic hardship, as one example mentioned. It's a more intense collective form of resistance.
A significant historical event, often. Okay, let's consider recipient.
Recipient.
Yeah.
Straightforward noun, it's the person or organization that receives something.
The one getting something.
Right. It could be a physical thing like a package or something abstract like an award, an email, a donation. You need to make sure the recipient's details are correct on a package, for instance. Charities thank recipients who attend events. And receiving something prestigious, like a scholarship or an award, is obviously a big deal for the recipient.
A person on the receiving end. Got it. Now, reconstruction.
Reconstruction. This noun is about rebuilding or reorganizing something after it's been damaged or destroyed.
Rebuilding, okay.
It can be very literal and physical, the reconstruction of a city after an earthquake, which can take years.
Right.
But it can also be more abstract, like the reconstruction of a country's economy after a war, or even psychological reconstruction after trauma, restoring something that was broken or damaged, physically or otherwise.
Covers both physical and non-physical rebuilding. Okay, our next word is recount.
Recount. This one has two main meanings. As a verb, it means to tell someone about something, to narrate events, like recounting the details of an important night.
Telling a story.
Essentially, yes. But as a noun, a recount is specifically about counting votes again, usually after a very close election.
Ah, the election recount.
Exactly. Officials do a recount to double-check the results. So it's either telling a story or counting votes a second time.
Important in very different contexts.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about recruitment.
Recruitment. This noun refers to the whole process of finding and hiring new people for a job or organization.
Hiring new staff.
Right. It's vital for any organization that's growing or needs to replace people. Companies launch recruitment campaigns for specific roles like engineers. There are recruitment agencies that help match people with jobs. And having good recruitment strategies is really key for a company's success, getting the right talent. Sometimes finding qualified people can be a challenge, though.
A core business function. Next, referendum.
Referendum. This is a type of vote. It's a noun meaning a general vote where the entire electorate decides on one single political question.
So everyone votes on one issue.
Exactly. It's different from electing representatives.
Yeah.
Here, the public votes directly on a specific policy or proposal, like constitutional reforms.
Direct democracy.
In a way, yes. The results can sometimes be quite surprising and have a big political impact. It's seen as a way to directly find out what the people think about a major issue.
Okay, let's move to reflection.
Reflection. This noun has two main meanings. First, the literal one, the image you see in a mirror or on water, seeing your reflection.
Your image.
Right. But second, and perhaps more common in C1 contexts, it means serious thought or consideration about something.
Thinking deeply.
Yes. After a meeting, someone might sit in deep reflection. It's a way to understand past mistakes, process experiences. Even looking at nature, like mountains reflected in a lake, can inspire reflection.
A literal image and deep thought. Got it. Now, reform.
Reform can be a noun or a verb. As a noun, it's the improvement of something, usually through changes. As a verb, it's the act of making those changes to improve things.
Making things better through change.
Exactly. You often hear it about societal systems, education reform to improve student results, or reforming outdated policies. Social reform aims for a fairer society. Governments introduce reforms that tackle issues like unemployment.
Usually implies positive change.
Yeah.
Next up, refuge.
Refuge. This noun means shelter or protection from danger or distress.
A safe place.
Yes. People seek refuge from war in other countries. A cabin might offer refuge from a storm. Wildlife sanctuaries provide refuge for animals.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be physical. Someone might find emotional refuge in art or music during hard times, a source of comfort.
Safety and comfort.
Okay.
Let's look at refusal.
Refusal. Simply the noun for the act of refusing, declining, or rejecting something offered or requested.
Saying no.
Basically. It can be a polite refusal to an invitation, or it can cause problems. A refusal to apologize might make things worse.
Yeah.
In serious situations, like the refusal of aid, it can have big consequences. And persistent refusal might be seen as rude.
The act of rejection. Now we have regain.
Regain. This verb means to get back something that you lost.
Recover something.
Right. It could be physical, like regaining strength after an accident, or intangible, like a team fighting to regain the top spot, or someone trying to regain confidence after a failure. In relationships, regaining trust after it's been broken is often crucial. It's about recovery.
Getting back what was lost. Let's consider regardless.
Regardless. This adverb means despite the circumstances or without paying attention to obstacles. It emphasizes that something happens anyway.
No matter what.
Pretty much. Pursuing a dream regardless of challenges. An event going ahead regardless of the weather. Staying positive regardless of setbacks. It shows determination.
Ignoring obstacles. Okay. Next, regime.
Regime. This noun refers to a government, but it often has a negative slant, suggesting an authoritarian or undemocratic one.
So not just any government.
Usually not. You hear about regimes accused of human rights abuses or losing freedoms under a new regime or implementing strict censorship. People might leave a country to escape an oppressive regime.
Carries a negative connotation often. Let's talk about regulator.
Regulator. This noun is an official or an organization that supervises a particular industry or activity. Their job is to make sure rules are followed.
Like a watchdog.
Exactly. Financial regulators watch banks. Environmental regulators fine polluters. They are there to maintain stability, safety, fairness, accountability. The food industry has health regulators.
Keeping industries in check. And related to that, regulatory.
Yes, regulatory is the adjective. It means relating to those rules or laws that control an activity.
About the rules themselves.
Right. Regulatory changes affect how companies operate. Some industries, like pharmaceuticals, face very strict regulatory requirements. Regulatory bodies oversee transactions. It's all about the framework of rules.
All about compliance. Let's look at rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation, or rehab. This noun is the process of restoring someone to health or normal life after something like an illness, injury, addiction, or even imprisonment.
Helping people recover and reintegrate.
Exactly. It can be physical rehab after an injury, social rehabilitation for ex-prisoners, drug rehabilitation centers. The main goal is helping people regain independence and improve their quality of life.
A process of restoration. Next up, reign.
Reign. Noun or verb. As a noun, it's the period a monarch rules the queen's reign. As a verb, it means to rule like a monarch.
Okay, ruling period.
Yes, but it's also used metaphorically. Terror reigned in the city means terror was dominant, or his reign as CEO transformed the company means his period in charge was very impactful.
Literal rule or dominant influence. Let's consider rejection.
Rejection. The noun form of reject, it's dismissing or refusing a proposal, idea, application, or person.
Being turned down.
Yes, it's common rejection from universities, job applications. While disappointing, it can be a chance to learn and grow. It's the act of refusal or dismissal.
An unavoidable part of life sometimes. Now we have relevance.
Relevance.
Okay.
This noun is about being closely connected or appropriate to the matter at hand. Is it related? Does it fit the topic?
Staying on topic, basically.
Yeah, essentially. Effective communication needs relevance. Comments should relate to the discussion. Skills need to maintain relevance in a changing world. The relevance of research might become clear later. It's about appropriateness and connection.
Key for making sense. Let's look at reliability.
Reliability. The noun form of reliable. It's the quality of being trustworthy, consistent, dependable.
Can you count on it?
Exactly. We value reliability in machines like a reliable car. In people, employers want reliable employees. In data, scientific research needs reliable data. It builds trust.
A fundamental quality. Next up, reluctant.
Reluctant. An adjective meaning unwilling and hesitant to do something.
Not wanting to do it.
Right. Maybe due to fear, doubt, or just not feeling like it. Reluctant to share a personal story. Giving a reluctant agreement. Children are often reluctant to try new foods. There's a hesitation there.
Showing unwillingness. Let's consider remainder.
Remainder. This noun is the part left over after the rest has been used, taken, or dealt with.
What's left?
Yes. The remainder of the day. The remainder of the cake. The remainder of guests who stayed late. The remainder of the funds to be donated. It's the leftover portion.
The part left behind. Now we have remains.
Remains. This noun usually refers to the parts left after something has been destroyed, or specifically a dead body.
So leftovers or a body.
Often, yes. Archaeologists find the remains of ancient cities, the charred remains of a burned house. Human remains are reburied. Even the remains of a party left over food and mess.
What's left after something significant ends? Let's talk about remedy.
Remedy. Noun or verb. As a noun, it's a solution to a problem or a cure for an illness. A simple remedy for poverty might not exist. Honey and lemon is a home remedy for sore throats.
A fix or a cure.
Right. As a verb, remedy means to correct or fix something wrong. The government promises to remedy healthcare issues. Someone might seek legal remedies for unfair treatment.
Offering a solution. Next up, reminder.
Reminder. A noun for something that makes you remember something else.
Or prompt.
Exactly. It could be a note, an alarm on your phone, a reminder to call someone, or a smell that's a reminder of childhood. Teachers give reminders about exams. A scar can be a constant reminder of an accident.
Triggering a memory. Let's look at removal.
Removal. The noun form of remove. It's the act of taking something away or getting rid of it.
Taking something out.
Yes. The removal of a controversial statue. Removal of hazardous materials.
Right.
Removal of trade barriers. Carpet removal. Just the act of taking away.
The process of taking away.
Now we have render.
Render. This verb has a few meanings. It can mean to cause something or someone to be in a particular state. The injury rendered him unable to work.
Made him unable to work.
Right. It can also mean to provide or give a service or help. They rendered aid to the victims.
Okay. Provide.
And in art or translation, it means to represent or depict. The painting rendered the landscape beautifully, or the translation rendered the poem into English.
To cause, provide, or depict. Quite versatile. Let's consider renew.
Renew. A verb meaning to make something new again, or extend its validity. Make fresh or extend.
Yes. You renew your passport. You can renew a friendship after years apart. Concerns can be renewed by events. You can renew a commitment to something like healthy living.
Bringing back freshness or validity. Next, renowned.
Renowned, an adjective meaning famous, well-known, and highly respected.
Famous and respected.
Exactly, a renowned expert. A city renowned for its culture, a renowned actor, a renowned restaurant. It implies a strong, positive reputation.
Signifying high status. Let's talk about rental.
Rental. Noun or adjective. As a noun, it's the act of paying to use something temporarily, a car rental, or the thing being rented. As an adjective, it describes things related to renting rental prices, or rental property.
About renting things. Now we have replacement.
Replacement, the noun for substituting one thing for another.
A substitute.
Right, a replacement battery, a replacement for a retiring manager, a replacement of old policies, ordering a replacement part for something broken, swapping one for another.
One thing taking another's place. Let's look at reportedly.
Reportedly. This adverb signals that the information comes from what people are saying, but it's not officially confirmed. It implies secondhand info or rumor.
Unconfirmed information.
Exactly. The singer is reportedly working on a new album. He was reportedly seen at the airport. Use it when the source isn't definite. Treat the info with caution.
Heard, but not confirmed. Next up, representation.
Representation. This noun has a few key meanings. It can mean acting or speaking on behalf of someone, like legal representation in court.
Acting for someone.
Yes. Or it can mean the depiction or portrayal of something. A painting is a representation of a landscape.
A depiction.
Right. And in politics or media, it refers to the presence of certain groups, minority groups, demanding better representation. It's about being included or depicted.
Acting for, depicting, or inclusion. Let's consider reproduce.
Reproduce. A verb meaning to make a copy of something, or biologically, to create offspring.
Copy or make babies.
Bluntly, yes. Species reproduce to survive. An artist might reproduce a painting. Scientists reproduce experiments to verify results. Printers reproduce images. It's about duplication or procreation.
Creating more of something. And related, reproduction.
Reproduction is the noun. It's the biological process of creating offspring. Or it's the act of making a copy or reproduction of a sculpture. And importantly, unauthorized reproduction of copyrighted stuff is illegal.
The process of making more. Let's talk about republic.
Republic, a noun for a type of government where power is held by elected representatives, not a monarch. The head of state is usually elected.
Like France or the US.
Exactly. Power resides with the people, represented by elected officials. It's considered a public matter. Studying historical republics, like Rome, is common.
Elected representation. Let's look at resemble.
Resemble, a verb meaning to look like or be similar to someone or something else.
Look like.
Yes, she resembles her mother. His actions resemble a professional's. Even things that seem identical, like snowflakes, apparently don't perfectly resemble each other up close. Used for similarities.
Showing similarity. Next up, reside.
Reside, a verb meaning to live in a particular place. It's a bit more formal than just live.
Formal live.
Right, often used in official or legal contexts. He currently resides in New York. The right to reside in a country where power resides in a democracy.
Living somewhere, formally. Let's consider residence.
Residence. The noun form a place where someone lives. A house, apartment, etc.
A home.
Yes. An ambassador's official residence. Moving to a new residence. Needing proof of residence for admin tasks. The place someone lives.
A dwelling place. Now we have residential.
Residential. The adjective, meaning relating to places where people live, as distinct from business or industrial areas.
Housing areas.
Right. A quiet residential neighborhood. Building new residential complexes. Stricter noise rules often apply in residential areas. It's about where people make their homes.
Relating to homes, let's look at residue.
Residue. A noun for that small amount of something left behind after the main part is gone or removed.
Leftover traces.
Exactly. Sticky residue after cleaning. Chemical residues in food, a health concern. Residue from an explosion. Oil residue harming ecosystems. It's the remainder, often unwanted.
The trace left behind. Next, resignation.
Resignation. This noun has two main senses. First, formally giving up a job, handing in your resignation.
Quitting a job.
Right. Second, it means accepting something bad or unavoidable, with a kind of quiet submission, accepting bad news with quiet resignation.
Giving up or quiet acceptance.
Exactly. Two distinct meanings there.
Got it. Let's talk about resistance.
Resistance. Noun meaning refusal to accept or comply, or trying to prevent something.
Fighting against something.
Yes. Can be political resistance to a policy. Physical resistance training builds muscle. Historical resistance fighters. Medical antibiotic resistance. It's opposition.
Opposing force. Let's consider respective.
Respective. An adjective used to show that items belong separately to each person or thing mentioned in a sequence.
Separately belonging to each.
Right. Students return to their respective classrooms, each to their own. Team members have respective duties. Participants return to their respective countries. It clarifies individual ownership or assignment within a group.
Clarifying individual links. Now we have respectively.
Respectively. The adverb form, it means in the order mentioned. It links items in two parallel lists.
In that specific order.
Exactly. Alice and Bob scored 90 and 85, respectively. It means Alice got 90, Bob got 85. Red and blue cups for Jack and Jill, respectively, means Jack gets red, Jill gets blue. Matches items sequentially.
Linking items in order. Let's look at restoration.
Restoration. Noun meaning returning something to its former condition, owner, or place.
Bringing back to original state.
Yes. Restoration of an old building. Restoration of peace after war. Restoration of a damaged painting. Restoration of natural habitats. It's about returning something to how it was.
Making whole again. Next up, restraint.
Restraint. Noun for a measure or condition that keeps something under control or limits it.
Holding back or limiting.
Right. Showing emotional restraint, not getting angry. Physical restraint devices in medicine or policing. Financial restraints limiting a project. It's about control or limitation.
Keeping things in check. Let's consider resume.
Resume. The verb, meaning to begin again or continue after a pause or interruption.
Start again.
Yes. The meeting will resume after lunch. The concert resumed after a break. Classes resume after holidays. Resume studies after a gap year. Continue after stopping.
Continuing after a pause. Now we have retreat.
Retreat. Verb or noun. As a verb, to move back or withdraw, usually from danger or difficulty. An army retreats. Someone might retreat into silence when criticized.
Moving back.
Right. As a noun, a retreat is a quiet, safe place for rest or escape. A mountain retreat. Or it can mean the act of withdrawing, a strategic retreat in business.
Withdrawing or a place of escape. Let's talk about retrieve.
Retrieve. Verb meaning to get something back from somewhere, to recover it.
Get something back.
Yes. Retrieve files from a damaged hard drive. A dog retrieves a ball. Ingbiverse retrieve artifacts from a wreck. Retrieve a dropped coin. It's about recovery and bringing back.
Recovering something lost. Next, revelation.
Revelation. Noun for a surprising or previously unknown fact that becomes known. A disclosure.
A surprising reveal.
Exactly. His revelation shocked everyone. A book full of revelations. It was a revelation to learn something new. Research leads to revelations. It's about uncovering something hidden or unknown.
Uncovering the truth. Let's look at revenge.
Revenge. Noun or verb. The act of harming someone in return for a wrong they did to you. Taking retaliatory action.
Getting even.
Pretty much. Plotting revenge. Vowing revenge. Movies often explore it. It's about retribution for harm suffered. Carries strong emotion.
Seeking payback. Now we have reverse.
Reverse. Verb, noun, or adjective. As a verb, to change to the opposite, reverse a decision. As a noun, the opposite side, reverse of a coin, or a complete change. As an adjective, opposite reverse gear in a car.
Opposite direction or state.
Yes, very versatile. Reversing a decline, putting the car in reverse, the reverse side.
Going the other way. Let's consider revival.
Revival. Noun for an improvement in the condition or strength of something, or a renewed interest or activity.
A comeback.
Kind of, yes. A revival of traditional crafts. A revival of someone's health. A jazz revival. A city's cultural revival after decline. It's about renewed strength or popularity.
Renewed life or interest. Next, revive.
Revive. The verb formed to bring back to life, consciousness, or popularity.
Bring back to life.
Right. Paramedics revive someone. A play revives interest in theater. Water revives a plant. Revive a company's reputation. It's about bringing something back from a weakened state.
Restoring life or popularity. Let's talk about revolutionary.
Revolutionary. Adjective or noun? As an adjective, causing complete, dramatic change, a revolutionary invention like the internet.
Game-changing.
Exactly. As a noun, a revolutionary is someone supporting or involved in political revolutionary forces, revolutionary leaders. Ideas can be revolutionary if they radically change thinking.
Causing fundamental change. Let's look at rhetoric.
Rhetoric. Noun referring to the art of persuasive speaking or writing. Using language effectively to influence.
Persuasive language.
Yes, but it can also have a negative sense, implying language that's persuasive but perhaps insincere or empty. All rhetoric and no action.
Skillful language, possibly empty.
Right. A politician's rhetoric might appeal to emotions. Good rhetoric sways audiences. Studying rhetoric improves speaking skills.
The art of persuasion. Now we have rifle.
Rifle, noun or verb. As a noun, it's a long gun. As a verb, it means to search through something quickly and roughly.
Gun or rough search.
Correct. A soldier carries a rifle. You might rifle through your bag for keys. Thieves rifle a house for valuables. Two distinct meanings.
Weapon and search method. Let's consider riot.
Riot, noun or verb. As a noun, a violent public disturbance by a crowd. As a verb, to take part in one.
Violent crowd trouble.
Yes. Chaos after a riot. Protesters start to riot. Laws to prevent riots. An announcement sparks a riot. Uncontrolled public violence.
Public disorder. Next up, rip.
Rip. Verb or noun. As a verb, to tear something quickly and forcefully, accidentally rip your dress, rip open an envelope.
Tear forcefully.
Yes. As a noun, it's the tear itself, a large rip in the sofa, a sudden tear or split.
Tearing something apart. Let's talk about ritual.
Ritual. Noun or adjective. As a noun, a set of fixed actions performed regularly, often for religious or cultural reasons, but also personal habits, morning coffee ritual, ancient ritual.
Repeated symbolic action.
Right. As an adjective relating to such ceremonies, ritual dances often involves repetition, formality, symbolism.
Formal, repeated actions. Let's look at robust.
Robust. Adjective meaning strong, healthy, and able to withstand difficulties.
Strong and sturdy.
Exactly. A robust system for handling complaints. Robust health despite age, a robust flavor in wine, a robust economy. It implies strength and resilience.
Resilient and strong. Now we have rock.
Rock. Noun or verb. As a noun, the hard, solid mineral material. As a verb, to move gently back and forth, or sometimes violently.
Stone or move back and forth.
Yes. Throw a rock. A boat rocks in a storm. An earthquake rocks a city. Children rock on swings.
Material and movement. Let's consider rod.
Rod. A noun for a thin, straight piece of material like wood or metal.
A thin stick.
Pretty much. A fishing rod, a lightning rod, a curtain rod. Historically, sometimes used for discipline, but not now. A slender bar.
A long, thin piece. Next up, rookie.
Rookie. A noun for someone new to an organization or activity, especially sports or the military. A beginner, an inexperienced person.
A newbie.
Exactly. A rookie on the team has to prove themselves. Rookie mistakes are normal. A rookie caught paired with a veteran. It emphasizes inexperience.
New to the game. Let's talk about roster.
Roster. A noun for a list showing names, duties, or members, like a team lineup or a work schedule.
A list of names or duties.
Right. The coach posts the team roster, manager checks the duty roster, new players added to the roster, a roster of speakers at a conference.
A list of participants or schedules. Let's look at rotate.
Rotate. Verb meaning to move around a central point or to alternate regularly in a sequence.
Turn around or take turns.
Yes. The Earth rotates on its axis. Workers rotate shifts. Rotate car tires for even wear. A chair rotates 360 degrees. It's about turning or cycling through.
Turning or alternating.
Yeah.
Finally, rotation.
Rotation. The noun form. The act of rotating around an axis Earth's rotation causes day and night. Or a regular cycle of changes doctors work in rotation, crop rotation in farming.
The act of turning or a cycle.
Exactly. It encompasses both the physical turning and the scheduled alternation.
Wow, that was quite a list. We've certainly journeyed through a significant set of C1 vocabulary, starting with R today.
We definitely covered a lot of ground, from technical terms like radar to emotional ones like rage and societal ones like reform.
Absolutely. We really hope this deep dive looking at everything from, radar's precision to the nuances of rhetoric has not only expanded your vocabulary,
but also given you a clearer sense of how to actually use these words effectively.
That's the goal. Keep an ear out for these terms when you're reading or listening to English.
And don't be afraid to try incorporating them into your own speaking and writing. Practice is key.
Definitely. Well, that's all we have time for today. Please like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more deep dives into the English language.
Thanks for joining us.